Hi everyone, I am here with Scott Glaser with TPO Pros and Roofing Company, and he's going to tell us a little bit about, why he got into roofing and a lot of things about roofing. So go for it. Why did you get into roofing?
Well, I know everybody's excited to hear my answer about roofing, right? But yeah, so I got into roofing a few years back, at least 4 years ago now. I was working for another company here in Houston. And while working for that company, I got on a lot of roofs, both commercial and residential. And I specifically saw lots of work that was just being done incorrectly. Lots of installs that just should not happen. So here's the thing, and here's the reality. People don't get on their own roofs, right? So if you were to get work done, you probably wouldn't just go jump up on your roofs. Maybe somebody would, but the majority don't. And you really need to trust who's getting on your roof. So I was tired of seeing all the bad work being done. Wanted to do something about it, make a change, and so I started my own roofing company because I could control what was being done to people's houses and buildings.
I have to agree. I mean, even being in real estate and doing it day in, day out, it's really hard to, kind of judge the person that's going up on your roof and see kind of, are they being honest with me? Are they not being honest with me? What are some things people should look for when they're kind of looking for a roofing company?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And this is something that I wish people would take more seriously, because roofs, as you know, can be very expensive, anywhere from $10,000 all the way to the hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on the property. But some of the main things that you need to look out for is the online presence. So look through the Google reviews, look through the Yelp reviews. Are they part of the BBB? Do they have videos, testimonials, right? So this will really give a great indication on what sort of roofing contractor you're working with. So here's some more of the things. Are they licensed through their manufacturer, right, to be able to issue warranties?
What does that mean? Like, I would think that anyone that's actually putting a roof on my house would actually have a license. Wouldn't you expect that?
Well, so there's two different license types, right? So specifically, there is no state licensing requirement for roofing in Texas. Right? There is a voluntary group called RCAT, which is Roofing Contractors Association of Texas. This is a voluntary test that people can take to go get licensed, which is a great thing to do. And then also, what I mean by license is more of certified/licensed through the manufacturers. So did they go through the training from the companies of their shingle manufacturer or their TPO manufacturer to be able to issue warranties? Because more times than not, and I can't tell you how many bids that I'm looking over, where people will get expensive roof options. The customer just does not really understand what they need, and they're getting the wrong system without a warranty. So it's pretty scary stuff when you think about it.
Yeah, and I mean, with such an expensive thing that's coming to you, definitely wouldn't want to go into it without a warranty. I mean, that would be horrible. So there's a bunch of storms in Houston all the time. I mean, I know I had a client recently that was telling me, we're not from here, we're from Dallas, so we're not used to all the flooding and all the crazy storms that y'all get here. But I was like, well, y'all have your own kind of storms there. But what's some advice and some things that you would have people look out for? And
yeah, so you'll see after a really big storm, typically hail and wind is what will cause the issues with these roofs. But that neighborhood will look like a war zone. So literally there's leaves and branches all over the place. There's roofing contractors door knocking. Probably 100 different companies will show up the next day after a storm trying to get business and solicit their company to help walk the homeowner through the insurance claim process. We always recommend that you don't sign anything right away. I know I might get some grief from some of the roofing contractors out there, but we think it's best if you do your due diligence, do a little bit of online research. If you really like that salesperson in that company, take the little time to take 24 hours and do your due diligence, right? So do they have the online presence? Are they a local company? I mean, that's a real big thing. How many times I can tell you that a roofing contractors from out of state will do a roof. The work isn't great. They have a problem. the customer will call the roofing company and they're in some other state somewhere else.
Taking like storm chasers.
Yeah, so that has such a bad connotation, and I don't necessarily like that because it gives us a bad name, but it's true. They'll chase storm to storm to storm, and if they're not a local company,
I would say the reputable company is probably the city or whoever's involved. A reputable companies get called upon to come and help if it's kind of more of a disaster situation.
If it's a large enough, like a hurricane, or then FEMA can get involved and things like that.
And
But.
that would be some qualified. Really, they hope that they would get some qualified roofers out there to do that stuff.
And that's what you would expect, but that doesn't always happen.
How do you help people with those insurance claims and walking them through that and helping them better understand?
Sure. So one of the biggest things, especially here in Texas, that you need to watch out for is the deductible. And it's been a long time practice in Houston and Texas specifically that a contractor will waive your deductible or eat your deductible or some sorts like this. So in 2019, they've changed the wording in the law that makes it completely illegal to waive or absorb or have anything to do if the customer does not pay their deductible. If they're paying your deductible, which could be thousands of dollars depending upon the insurance policy you have, where is that contractor saving the money elsewhere in the build?
So they
That's
might be
not a road
cutting
you want to go down.
corners somewhere.
Exactly, 100%.
Okay, that's definitely not what you want to do. Does any roofer do any type of roofing, or are there specific, I guess, certifications like you were saying earlier?
Yeah, so this happens all the time, and brings us back to the original why I got into roofing. More times than not, on a commercial property, a residential roofer will go up there and not really know how to necessarily perform the correct repair, and vice versa, right? Commercial roofers somebody will go work on somebody's house and they'll just throw some black gunk up on there and try to fix a leak, and that's not the proper way to fix a leak, right? It's expensive stuff, and you just want things done the right way. So they should have a specialty.
I know sometimes when I go and see inspection reports from different inspectors and stuff, and you see some of the half repairs that people did just to kind of pass an inspection or something, it really looks horrible, and it's almost embarrassing to the homeowners because they don't know what's happening up there. So definitely be sure to contact the right roofers, and I think Scott can be your guy. Scott, why don't you give them your information and how they can contact you?
Sure, great. Yeah, so our website is www.tpopros.com. Our number is 800-674-3634, and it's TPO Pros Roofing and Restoration.
Awesome. Well, thank you for coming, Scott. I really appreciate it, and we'll be right back after a commercial break.
Thanks a lot, Dena.